I've asked the task force headed by Lonai Singh to continue with the role to implement the expansion of this poly-FSI under SIAT. So they will oversee and make sure that SIAT runs this properly. And I've asked Senior Minister of State Iswaran to advise them. He's got plenty of private practice experience in terms of the shape of this landscape, and also his role and his concurrent appointment at MTI makes him ideally suited for this task. So we want to see how we can ramp this up and make it another jewel in our system. SIAT will work with the foreign universities to deliver the degree programs in all the 5 polytechnic campuses. This means that the degree courses will be conducted in all 5 campuses. This is a desegregated model. It's a segregated model. And I think there's utility there because your own graduates would understand the surrounding, they'll feel comfortable, they'll go back to the alma mater. So it adds to the polytechnics as well. We understand that this will increase the need for more capacity in the polytechnics. So MOE will meet this demand. We'll build additional capacity. And because we want to be strategic, on top of just adding capacity and bringing these foreign partners into our polytechnics, the polys will also get another boost in terms of funding to encourage innovation and entrepreneurship. Basically, we want to use this to strengthen the polytechnic sector. The government will invest more than $3.5 billion in the polytechnic sector over the next 10 years to establish SIAT, expand the polytechnic capacity, and to further develop their capacity for innovation and development. As I said, the overall strategy is to position for the future, and this is what they are doing. The investment for SIAT alone will cost us our estimates is about $1.6 billion over the next 10 years. Let me just say one concluding remark about the polytechnics before I move on to the 2 other peaks. With these new additions, SIAT and the expansion of capacity, the polytechnics, the additional ramp-up of funding for innovation and entrepreneurship, our polytechnics can retain their mission of producing diploma graduates that are highly sought after by industry. We don't want our polytechnics to drift and become weak universities because that will undermine their strength. They should continue to produce diploma graduates that have gained them international recognition as being among the best in the world for producing those diploma graduates. Instead, SIAT will complement the efforts of the polytechnics by helping their diploma holders with expanded job scopes to obtain the degrees to enhance their employability and wages in Singapore. Let me just move on to the second new initiative. I'll leave the questions to the end. This is for the new university, and basically we're announcing a tie-up with the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. The Committee on Expanding University Sector recommended that the university would have an interdisciplinary curriculum with emphasis on entrepreneurship and provide students with world learning experiences. It will offer disciplines in areas such as engineering, applied sciences, and design. So basically more a technologically based university. It also recommended that the university would form strategic alliances with top universities. In short, recommendations would position this university with the future in mind. And there are, of course, benefits for our new university to partner a top US university. We believe that after the global financial crisis has recovered, that the US will continue to be a powerhouse in knowledge creation and innovation. But as we discuss with our US or possible US partners, the importance of the China connection became more and more evident. Yeah. Essentially, it was if we believed that China would play a leading role because of its status, because of its capacity, growing capacity, then would it not make sense, in addition to the US partner, to bring in China in? And there was strong logic in that argument. We have therefore decided that a new university would partner a top US university and a top PRC university, because these partnerships will basically position Singaporeans and Singapore well to benefit from education and research collaboration with these dominant world players. We received good proposals from top institutions in the US, and after careful consideration, the new university steering committee, I provided the names of the steering committee, together with MOE, has decided that the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, will be the new university's US partner. MOE is delighted with this partnership with one of the top-ranking universities in the world, and indeed in many disciplines, especially in engineering and science. MIT is arguably the top-ranking university worldwide. It's renowned internationally for its excellent, rigorous undergraduate education, as well as its world-class research. It's produced 73 Nobel Prize winners, many captains of industries and leaders in government across the world, but it's also known for a spirit of innovation and entrepreneurship. Many MIT discoveries are patented, and they produce many companies and indeed millionaires. Some of you may ask, well, how significant or what shape is this partnership with MIT? Let me just say that this partnership is deep and broad. MIT will play a leading role in helping the new university develop its primarily science and technology curriculum. It will adopt its best practices from MIT. Basically, the idea is, this is a new idea, they will use design as an integrating factor for different disciplines, engineering and science. So there's an emphasis on design, because many industry and educational experts believe that design will be the new element or the integrating factor. When I say design, it's a very broad, generic use of the word design. It's not just drawings. It's a design for, say, engineering systems, sustainable homes. Because the problem now is that each of the disciplines start at their own slate, but can't bring it together. So if you use design as an integrating factor, whether it's a big engine or a solar turbine or an entire home or an entire city or small parts of the city, it's a very different concept. So they believe that that's the new wave, and that's what we are implementing in the new university. MIT will also kickstart the new university's research capability by developing major research programs with top-class faculty doing research here. And I think that the students at the new university will benefit because they will be taught by and interact with experienced MIT faculty members who will be placed full-time here as part of the agreement. Obviously, with MIT as a partner, as a world-class university, students need to be of sufficient academic caliber to benefit from the programs. So we expect admission standards to be high, on par with leading universities worldwide. We envisage that at steady state, the new university will be a high-quality, research-intensive university with an undergraduate population of about 4,000 students, up to 4,000 students. We're going for quality, not quantity. With the postgraduate students, we think that the size at steady state will be about roughly what SMU is today, about 7,000 to 8,000 students, undergraduate and postgraduate. It's a comfortable size that we feel will be of high quality research and teaching, because we want it to bring not only economic benefits to the students, Singaporeans, but also to Singapore. So like MIT in US, we hope that it will produce world-class scientists and entrepreneurs, along with new innovations and products. The new university will work with MIT to select bright local and international students who will benefit from its unique programs. Now, I hope to attract as many Singaporeans as possible who can make the grade, and after having done so, we'll top up with international students from regions around the two partners, from the region as well as from our two partners, from US and China. I think that this diversity in student population, the connections with partner institutes with US, China, and the spirit of MIT and the inputs by MIT will provide students with a very rich and vibrant educational experience. Obviously, MIT-type education at a university will cost more. Because this is a good investment, the government is willing to provide higher subsidies. But at the same time, I think it's only fair that students admitted to this institution will have to pay higher fees than what our existing universities charge. This was a practice when SMU was started, which SMU does charge higher fees because it has a slightly different pedagogy. But like SMU, no bright student will be denied a place because he can't afford it. There will be financial assistance schemes to help such students, such Singaporeans. I would say that this is MIT's most substantive collaboration in undergraduate education to date. MIT has never done this before with any other country, let alone institution. And I believe their involvement will give the university its best start. For China, we are still in discussions. Good progress has been made, and we hope to be able to announce a China partner by the end of the year. I've talked about the second peak of excellence. Let me just conclude with the third peak, the third medical school. Again, we're preparing for the future. All of us are clearly aware of how our demographics are changing. Our population is expanding and aging. Our population now is 4.84 million. We have already two very good medical schools, the Yong Lin Medical School at NUS and the Duke NUS Graduate Medical School in the Outram campus. The NUS school produces about 260 graduates, Duke about 50, Duke NUS about 50. And in addition to the recruitment from overseas, they are adequate for our health needs. But we need to start planning for our future. Because we have different demands, and also because the developed world will also have concurrently the same demands. Their populations are aging, and healthcare needs will grow. So I think it's wise and sensible for us to start thinking now. We have time, there's no hurry, but because medical schools take a long time to produce, undergraduate course is long, and it takes a long time to produce doctors, we decided with MOH to start thinking early. NUS already has two big medical schools, or one big medical school at Yong Lin, and Duke has just started consolidating, so they're very hard for them to expand capacity at this point of time. So we asked NTU to submit a proposal. If the proposal is good and affordable, the government can consider it. We have to think carefully about the model. It's not just starting a medical school, but we have to think carefully about the model of the undergraduate education in the third medical school. We all know it's expensive, and government subsidies are very much higher than any other discipline. But beyond the costs, I think the medical school must be positioned for the future, our needs as well as the future. It goes without saying that at the very least, they must produce good and caring doctors who are competent, who are mindful of the needs of the patients, Singaporeans, as in every medical school. But I think beyond that, they have to ask the question, what will medical care be like 10 years, 20 years from now, and start positioning for that. So NTU will have to take into account these various factors, specific needs of aging and changing disease patterns. But it should also use this opportunity to fill in gaps that exist from our current medical schools because they were started at a different time and a different era. So for that, we wanted to have a look and ask what leading medical schools, how they were preparing, and I made some trips, and I got a glimpse of the future about medical care and how medical schools are indeed preparing for that. It's not only on high-end equipment, whether it's CT scanners, MRIs, radiotherapy equipment. What we are finding is that more and more there's increasing use of science and technology to help day-to-day needs. And I saw many examples. Simple things like using technology to help in dispensing cards. So if you take a medicine that's wrong, there's a verbal warning that says, look, this is the wrong medicine for this patient. It alerts you immediately, or visual cues. It's miniaturizing applications so that there's cost-effective and cheaper. So, for example, 24-hour ECG monitoring the size of a big elastoplast. Stick it on, do what you like. It's waterproof. It just records 24 hours a day. somebody downloads, you can hook it up so that if you do get arrhythmia somewhere else, you can be alerted and they can even treat you that way. Things that can be produced cheaper, faster, can be applied to the masses. Even automated devices which are cheap that can measure your blood pressure 24 hours a day, even breakdown products, waste products, intelligent toilet bowl. They can tell you, well, you're taking this medicine, whether it's been working or not, based on you're going to have these diseases. The intersection of science and technology with medicine will revolutionize medicine. It's called digital medicine, digitalized medicine or industrial medicine. Many experts think that will, if not bring the cost down, will actually make medical care more effective, more responsive to the daily needs of patients. Because whatever it is, Singaporeans and foreigners want high, good quality care in Singapore, and we must position for this future. Another major trend which this medical school must address is, as the recent influenza H1N1 episode has shown us, global health issues, pandemics, how we respond to it as a people, as a country, as a system, healthcare financing, health economics. All these are important areas that the new medical school must address. So it's a complex task, difficult for NTU, so NTU should not rush. I've told them, take your time. What they have done sensibly is to form an advisory panel to advise them on the new medical school, and they've roped in good people. Dr. Su Guaning, the president, is chairing this committee, this advisory panel. Members include experienced members, Professor Ng Eng Hen, who was a previous dean from NUS, who is executive director of BMRC and A-Star, so he's got a lot of experience. Professor Philip Chu from Tan Tock Seng, who's chairman medical board there. Renowned scientists like Judith Swain and Ed Holmes. Professor Saku, director of medical studies. So they've assembled this very experienced group to give them ideas, to help them prepare and give a good proposal for this medical school. I'm confident that they can give a good proposal. And to give them a good start, I think NTUC should consider tying up with partnerships with reputable overseas institutions to give them a very quick jump start in this process, see whether that's doable, to transform the way that we teach and practice medicine in Singapore. So in conclusion, I've talked about 3 peaks in our tertiary sector that will elevate our tertiary landscape. As a small city-state with limited resources, our strategy is to deliver high-quality education to Singaporeans, to ensure that every publicly funded institution is a gem. And even in a downturn, we must continue to invest in building up the quality of our people to ensure a bright future for Singaporeans and Singapore. Thank you very much.